Hello, you guys. I know it's been a while. I know. Forgive me. Don't hate me. I have so many good reasons that I kind of been MIA. It's involved, my career life, juggling all that along with motherhood and wifehood and my business that I own and run on the side. There's just a lot involved in my life, right? So I'm sure you're the same. The only difference is I showcase a lot of mine and give people front row seat to judge and criticize and throw in their 2 cents. It's just a part of what I do in order to spread information and knowledge and normalize so many taboo things that are just needing to be normalized, that ignorant people just want to judge or misunderstand because they have no experience or knowledge, have no reason to study these things or even care more about it, because maybe they'll never in their life care to try ketamine or even bother with natural alternatives. So because of that, they just don't even care to learn about it. They'll just believe whatever the media tells them unless it directly affects their life or job or whatnot, and then they have to care. So because of that, I like to share my knowledge in my life and normalize those things in day-to-day life activities, etc., because I'm not your typical woman based on demographics and statistics. A person like me usually wouldn't contemplate alternative medicine or even care to defend something like kratom or marijuana. I'm educated. I come from a good pedigree background life. I have a great lifestyle, successful, whatnot. So usually you don't see people in my situation connected to these taboo things. And that is so wrong. It's such a prejudiced thing. It's profiling people and situations. I just try to put it into it. That's why I do what I do. So here we are. I'm Shaunna. Nice to meet you. Sorry. For my family that have been following me for over a decade now, thank you for putting up with me. I truly appreciate you more than you'll ever know, and greatly appreciate your comments and feedback. So many check in on me like, what the hell's going on, Shaun? I miss you. If you don't, I run and probably update my Instagram channels a lot more frequently than YouTube. So head on over there. I'll put the link in the description. I share stories, I share posts, I share, special unique mini series that I don't share here. So it would be a good thing to jump over there. And I did receive a question over there, which is what this video is going to be focused on, and that's weight loss, hence my intro of shaky shaky, because I've lost a lot of weight. I'm now back to the weight I was before my neck surgery and before my medical issues, which caused all the weight gain. So I have a story to tell. People are asking, they want to know why, they think it's Ozempic or they think whatever. They want to get all to the bottom of these things. And so I'm going to share my 2 cents, how I did it, how I continue to keep it off. Rumors, taboo things, all intertwined. I'm just going to tell my story from a perspective of a woman who has metal in her neck, who lives with chronic pain, who has a disease that can't just work out and lose weight like a normal, healthy human being. So, and to take into account all these other things, I need to tell and share how I do it, because the people who follow me usually have similar backgrounds. They are also in pain. They also have a disease. They also can't lose weight quickly because of being limited based on their body and all that stuff. So they want to know, how did you do it, Shaunna, so I could do it too? And I totally get it. I had to figure it all out on my fucking self, all by myself. No one helped. I couldn't find channels where people were in my kind of situation losing the weight. So I literally had to figure it out on my own. So now I'm going to do you all a favor and tell you what I had to do to make it happen. If you too are in a similar situation where you're not fit healthy, you can't just do a HIIT class. You can't just be called lazy for not working out. You can't just do it like every other healthy person does it. The majority of people don't have physical limitations like we do. So you can't just look at someone and think it's the same kind of answer to lose the weight. I'll talk on Ozempic, I'll talk on other things because I really think it's important, especially with the recent media attention Ozempic's getting. I think there's two sides to the story when it comes to Ozempic and what I personally think about it. Coming from a person who has an illness, disease that can't lose weight like a normal person, right? So here we are, sit around for the ride if this is your thing. Otherwise, I will see you in another video where you feel more connected to the topic. So first and foremost, losing weight requires a couple of things and a couple of other things, but the main things are a diet and exercise, right? Those are the two main things that people always say. Don't cut corners. There's no secret pill to weight loss. That's why they hate Ozempic, because that's pretty much a secret pill injection to weight loss. So we got a lot of haters out there, a lot of jealous people. Whatever. I'm sure if they could afford it, they would do it themselves. So they just need to shut the fuck up. I'll explain more on that later. But those are the two main things you need to lose weight, right? They always say that. Why can't you just starve yourself and lose weight? You can, right? It's called intermittent fasting, which I did. And I'm going to show you that was a big part of me losing my weight is I stopped eating by 6 and I started eating by 10:30 to 11 in the morning the next day. And when I did eat, I wasn't picky. I didn't eat fruits and vegetables and protein and all that bullshit. I'll explain why later. It's going to be a big video. That was my main trick. That's what did it, which is kind of like Ozempic. Ozempic stops you from wanting to eat, right? So just don't eat. But again, you have the issue with the desire to eat, the desire to pig out, which is why it's such a great thing for some people, Ozempic. But if you have the self-control, there's natural Ozempic, which is huge. I talked about it over in my Instagram channel. I think I did a YouTube channel on it. If I did, I'll link it here. But otherwise, it's bergamine or bergantine or something. Here, I'll just post it right here. That's what it is. You can find it on Amazon. It is the natural version of Ozempic, is what they say. It really does curb your appetite. So I did intermittent fasting along with this supplement to stop pigging out. That was my diet. Now, on to why I wasn't a health nerd with salads and bullshit like that. My mother died at a young age. For her age, it was her late 40s, right? Early 50s, probably 51. What's connected with all this, when I bring that up, is the fact that I grew up in a very healthy home. I mean, you think you're healthy. Bitch, sit down. Organic, everything. Raw milk, farm eggs, farm butter, anything like you could think of. We wouldn't just shop at Fred Meyer or Safeway. No. We had to shop at Whole Foods. The original Whole Foods that first opened in Silicon Valley. That was our place. That's where my mama shopped. We were a health nut family. I wasn't. She forced us all to be. She was so freaking healthy. Never smoked. Didn't do drugs. Didn't drink alcohol. Didn't, drink here or there, but whatever. The biggest health person you could possibly imagine. Supplements, vitamins, you name it. But she died. There's no answer to cancer. It's actually a good line. But there isn't. It's a horrible thing that some people are spared, some people are not, and it doesn't always make sense. It could make sense when you've been smoking your whole life and you get lung cancer. That makes sense. But in situations like my mother, colon cancer, really bad, got it at a young age, and died young. She beat it the first time, but inevitably it always usually comes back, which is what a lot of people don't talk about. So I hesitate to get super excited when they beat it the first time, because cancer it's like they tease you and you get your hopes up and you feel so amazing, and just to get slapped down again years later, that was hard for our family. But she got sick. She was diagnosed at stage 4 right off the bat. She had no symptoms. You know why she had no symptoms? I kind of gave it away that she was sick with stage 4. because we were a health crazed family. So she was feeling amazing. She was in great shape. So they didn't catch it until it was pretty later in the game because of her lifestyle. So yeah, being healthy makes you feel very good. And that is the one and only benefit. It does not guarantee jack shit to avoid illnesses, diseases, or cancer. It doesn't. Maybe some. But no, if you're spared, you thank God that you're spared. It has nothing to do with your food pretty much most of the time. And so my health issues and all that, I didn't have a fucking Oreo cookie until I was in my early 20s. I didn't have soda unless I snuck out of the house or stole one from high school. It was, so being healthy and diet and fitness and eating healthy and all that, to me, I speak from experience, a lot of it is fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. I've watched my mother die from being the most healthiest person on the face of the earth, and a lot of people have a similar story. So it made me kind of bitter. I can enjoy fucking Oreos, or I can enjoy Trader's JoJo's, which are very good and healthier than Oreos. One's more expensive than the other. I lean to, I'm just going to eat whatever the fuck I want, reasonably. Of course, I don't just give my kids shit and junk food, but I don't always look for the organic sign. I don't always go for the super healthy. I don't shop at Whole Foods. I'm a penny pincher. That's loads of shit. I'm sorry. But that's for me. This is my story. This is where I come from. So eating healthy wasn't how I lost my weight. That should excite some of you. And others it'll just piss off, which I don't care. Leave a comment. You only help me, or when you bitch to me. That should be a t-shirt too. I'm like coming up with a lot of good phrases here. Eating healthy? No. I still drink Monsters. Couldn't break that college habit I got in. But I'm not like 5-day. I've tapered a lot back. But there is a point where I just stopped Monsters entirely, right? It made zero difference in how I felt. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going back to a Monster a day, Monster here or there, a couple days a week. And I am just as the same, right? You really have to know your body, though. If you're more sensitive to caffeine, whatever, you really have to know your body. I am in tune with my body. I know my body and what it can handle, what it's more sensitive to. So you have to keep those things in mind when you want to bend the rule on eating healthy, which is what I did. It's really to each their own. It's really a trial and error because some people feel good or worse on certain things based on your unique anatomy. So please keep that in mind. Just because I do it doesn't mean you should. There's people who die from too many energy drinks. I'm well aware of the statistics. I roll my eyes and I get bored when people tell me, you know how unhealthy those are. Like, bitch, you do not know my lifestyle. You do not know my upbringing. You do not know that I already know how unhealthy these things are. But guess what? It will not make a difference most of the time. It won't save you from death or diseases or cancer. So I'm not even going to go into this speech with these people. I just look at them and go, oh, really? Wow. I'm going to drink some bull semen. Okay. I don't care. And it usually pisses them off because they really don't know my background. And I don't care to preach. I just tell people what they want to know so they can shut up quicker. And I can go on about my day, especially if I'm not in the mood to debate. And some people, you could tell if they're open to debate. Okay, going off on a tangent. No, didn't eat super healthy. That wasn't one. Second thing, fitness, working out, right? Workout and eating healthy, 2 things to losing weight. No, didn't do that either. Man, I am just being that weird one that all of the pros are going to be saying so much shit about. But you know what? I don't care because you know what? There's more people out there like me who can't work out or who don't have the money to eat super healthy and shop at Whole Foods. So maybe different reasons that I can't do either of those things, but you're still in the same boat as me. Doesn't matter why. But if you can't work out and you can't eat super healthy, what do? That's why I'm here. That's why I'm making this video. So no, I did not work out because guess what? I can't work out and do most things. My body is so limited. Like I could barely drive without freaking out my neck. You know why? It doesn't take much. to throw my neck off and get a flare up, right? I'm driving and I have to turn, like look over my shoulder. I have to be very careful how quickly I turn my head. Too quickly will throw it off. Too slow at the wrong angle will throw it off. So I'm limited. Even with driving, I have to be careful, let alone working out. So I couldn't just get on the treadmill and work out either. My ankles, I have a really bad ankle due to an injury when I was 17. Left with a minor fracture that's too small to even bother working on. It would have done more damage if they went in and tried to fix the minor fracture. So that's what I live with all these years. So it's very finicky. So I can't just run. I have a disease that involves my cartilage throughout all my joints. So I'm very limited on the comfort levels because I live in a lot of pain. I pretty much have the body of an 80-year-old because of that disease. I also have fibromyalgia. I also have hyperjoint syndrome or something, where I overextend all of my joints since I was little. So imagine overdoing it your entire life without even knowing you're overdoing it. I am very flexible. My husband loves it. I am very bendable. My joints can far extend the majority of the average person that doesn't have this syndrome. So because of that, my body, as I aged, is like a worn out engine, a worn out tricycle that's just creaking and screeching to a halt, just barely able to just do whatever it used to do. Sure, it's broken, but it's limited. So I couldn't go on the treadmill. I couldn't just do some massive exercise workout. What do they call it? HIIT workout. I was limited. So man, I was screwed when I got the neck fusion and they put me on medication that made me blow up and leave me with nearly 100 pounds higher than I should have been or that I was. And I've caught on to all this shit. It was water retention. I wasn't able to burn fat like a normal person would. Everything was limited and hindered by the medication. But I needed the medication for my nerve pain and the surgeries I was going through and the disease that I had to live with and kind of adapt to. And before you know it, I had gained a shit ton of weight. But trying to lose it when you realize all these things you're diagnosed with, it was a bitch, and it left me depressed, angry. A lot of you remember those videos. I didn't delete those videos. You can go back and watch my little tubby face happily talking about kratom and happily living my life. But I was still depressed because that's not who I was. It didn't feel comfortable in my skin. It had nothing to do with wanting to look sexy for anybody but myself. I missed bending the way I used to be able to, going up the stairs without huffing and puffing. A lot of those things, I'm all okay with not fat shaming. I'm never going to do that because I've been there. I'm not going to say it's comfortable and healthy either. I wanted to lose it because I didn't feel good and I wasn't who I was before, right? I didn't feel like myself. So it took me a while, a couple years, before I was so pissed off from trial and error, supplements and these things that would help you lose weight, burn fat, blah, 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 trying to find out my medication perfectly, realizing that I can't take medication because of the side effects being a lot worse, finding kratom, finding alternative medicine that helped with my chronic pain, finally got that under control. Then there's mental health, death of my mom, all these other issues in life, right? So you never get a break. There's always something that's going to happen. Once you figure something else out, it'll be something else. And then you have to figure that out. So throughout these months and years, I had to do a lot of trial and error. So when I did the intermittent fasting, I really had to bite the desire to eat. And so what I would do is I would distract myself. As long as you could stop eating by 6 and not start eating until 10 to 11, whenever between that time, preferably to 11, and you eat your regular, reasonable amounts of meals as if you were eating your 3 meals a day as normal, you will lose weight at a good, decent pace. There's really no way to not at that point. But why that is not always a good thing is because when you lose weight fast, thing with Ozempic, is your skin will get loose. You'll lose the weight too soon, so your skin elasticity or whatever can't catch up, can't keep up with your weight loss. So you end up having loose skin, a lot of issues with your skin that's just not attractive, and you need to be able to tighten your body, increase your muscle tone and all that to adapt to your weight loss. So what I was able to do, limited wise, I would walk, I would stand at my desk for half the day, 1 hour standing, 1 hour sitting, walk around, do my chores. Trying to get the attention here, Roland? And I would do yoga and Pilates where my neck was comfortable. I would have to keep my neck in a neutral, flat form area while I worked my legs, while I worked my arms. You really have to listen to your body, but doing the light workouts like yoga and Pilates will give you the toning that you need, will give you that exercise that bodies like ours that are limited can still manage to do. You just find the sweet spot. So take your time, slow on the motions, and eventually you'll realize what moves will work for your body, will you actually feel the burn, but it won't cause flare-ups or you having to be down for a few days with bad pain. I listened to my body, I adapted to the movements to what my body can handle, and I would increase from there, strengthen ones from here, increase the repetition and whatnot. On top of the intermittent fasting, on top of the supplements, I'll add all the supplements that I took with Amazon links, cheap ass, or from Amazon. I'll put that in the description instead of boring you right now, but there's a good set of vitamins and supplements that you can take. Affordable wise, I couldn't always stay on certain supplements because I just wanted to cut and save here and there. But there was a couple that I always took, and I'll make sure I list that down below. Now, as for Ozempic, I used the vitamin B BioBoost. It's like a prescription grade vitamin B, which helped with weight loss, which helped with the energy. Was an Ozempic, but it was an injection. And it's very affordable. It's like 100, 150 versus God knows whatever for Ozempic. I'll link that below as well. That was just an added thing. Don't know if it really made the difference at all. But when it comes to Ozempic, I think Ozempic is amazing for people with obviously diabetes, but it should be limited to people with diabetes or people with medical issues where they cannot just lose weight like normal people. I think Ozempic is amazing for people that can't work out, that can't just eat whatever they want, that have a body that doesn't burn or the metabolism isn't as quick or whatever. And it doesn't matter if you're healthy or not. Ozempic is great for people who actually need it. Just like I talk about Kratom. Kratom is amazing for people who actually need it. It shouldn't be recreationally. It shouldn't be for a fad diet, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going back to Ozempic. It should be for people who need the thing. Kratom, Ozempic, whatever it is. Recreationally is something that I believe should be limited for a good time, a good weekend, you go on vacation, a bad pain day, you know, those kind of things. But to do anything routinely, unless it's needed, and unless you're pretty much choosing the lesser of evils, you know, if you have gnarly prescriptions with horrible side effects versus Kratom, you would take the Kratom, right? You don't want to deal with the side effects. Ozempic will help you lose weight. Apparently, you inject it, you don't want to eat. People always say, especially now, oh, they all gain the weight back because they never changed their diet. They never changed how they were eating and their habits. All accurate. I agree with that. I'm just like guys and women will gain the weight back once they get like liposuction or weight loss surgery. Unless they change their habits, they're going to gain weight back after all the thousands of dollars and going under the knife. It shouldn't be any different for Ozempic then. You can't just bash and use that excuse for Ozempic and not all the other weight loss quick things that people do. It's the same. 100% agree that people need to do mental health control, trying to relearn some things if they had a habit of pigging out and overeating. Me, I didn't. I couldn't lose the weight because of prescriptions, because of my body. I was never a pig and I am never a pig. I don't binge. I don't pig out. People never understood how I gained all that weight because I barely eat. I eat like a bird, people say. So they were people that were close to me and my family, they didn't understand it. Once they realized why, the health issues, the prescriptions that caused it, made sense. So for people like me who don't have a bad habit of overeating, that don't have nasty whatever addictions to cookies or white sugar or whatever, something like Ozempic would be amazing. It helps kickstart the weight loss that you need because you can't lose weight the regular way. I think it should be limited to people who actually need it, not celebrities. But you know what? They're paying full price, thousands of dollars without insurance, whatever. We're going to hate on them. I don't really care. Just don't lie about it. Don't say you lost your weight, Kelly Clarkson, because you changed your diet and started working out. Shut the fuck up, bullshit. Okay? You always had weight issues. You've always fluctuated and all that. And it could have been for medical reasons. I don't know. I'm not going to hate on you. But to just drop it like that and that be the reason? No. There's something else, whether it's Ozempic or something, but it ain't no diet and exercise bullshit. I hate that answer because people that really have a hard time with weight loss or gained weight and can't lose it like normal people, that ain't going to cut it. And we all know that that doesn't cut it. There's something else, whatever it is. For me, intermittent fasting, aka Ozempic diet, don't eat, does the trick. But you have to remember to eat. You have to get a healthy mindset, healthy habits, and Kratom helps with the mental thing. The Kratom helps with your mood. Kratom helps even with your appetite. I've heard many people say, yeah, Kratom curbs my appetite. Obviously, it makes sense, especially if you do a toss and wash. The powder goes to your gut and it kind of fills up your stomach and you're not really that hungry until the Kratom powder dissolves and whatnot. And people, yeah, they don't recommend the toss and wash method. I don't care. I've been huge toss and wash fan for over a decade, so I don't care to hear it. So that's just what I do, and it really does help with your appetite. That's probably why it was easier to lose the weight on top of my fasting that I was doing, because I was doing Kratom as well for my pain, for my mental health. That trio of things that I did is how I lost over 60 pounds. That's how much I lost. I still have a ways to go. I still have about, before I'm happy, based on my pre-baby years, I have about 20 more pounds to lose. At that point, I don't know if I'll have tits or an ass, but I'm still going to see how I adapt to losing more weight. I'm going to be fasting still. I'm going to be doing all that, doing my thing, doing yoga. But we'll see. I might stop at 10 more or whatever. But you really have to listen to your body, know your body. Don't be a prude. Don't shame on people that do things. Ozempic's great. If I had thousands of bucks to burn, I would choose that too. Because I don't have the nasty habits of pigging out or binge eating. So I wouldn't be one that would gain the weight back. So for people in my situation, a medical condition, it's amazing and should be offered, should be cheaper, but whatever. It should be for diabetes first. And if the stock is limited, they get priority, they get first thing. The rest should be at wayside because there's other weight loss prescriptions and injections that have nothing to do with the diabetes part of things. That is more important. But if there's extra out there, no stock shortages, I think it should be for medical reasons as well. People that need to lose the weight and can't just based on exercise and dieting. Okay, there's my spiel, how I did it, my recommendations. Check out the descriptions below. I'll share the links. I hope you all have an amazing 2024, and I will see you around. I promise I won't disappear for a while. Just have to think of more content to push. But you know me, I always think of good shit. Usually pissing people off, but I don't mind. It's kind of fun. Boost my ratings.